Welcome to Ben Television, You Decide. This is the program we give you facts, information, and analysis, and at the end of the day, you decide. My name is Shegun Johnson, and I'm so glad you're watching. We'll be starting off with our colleague in Milan, Italy. Mark, you're welcome to the program.
Morning, Honorable Shagun. Thank you for having me once again. Good morning,
Oh,
everybody.
you're doing well. How is Italy?
Yes, it's still there. Good old Italy.
Yeah,
Uh,
how do we say good morning in Italy?
Buongiorno. Buongiorno.
Buongiorno.
Yes,
Okay.
buongiorno all. Buongiorno tutti means good morning, everybody. Uh,
Okay, so you want to properly greet all our viewers in the Italian language, don't you? Go on.
that's just it. Buongiorno tutti. Uh, Benvenuto
Tutti
di.
sounds like a name in Rwanda. You remember the Tutsis and the Anyway, let's get on with the program. Buongiorno tutti, bonjour tout le monde. Good morning, everyone. We're just having some fun there. You're most welcome, Mark.
Thank you, sir.
Before we go to the United Kingdom, how is the vaccination going on in Italy?
Yes, it's coming up gradually. We still have a slow pace anyway, but vaccination is going on. What the government did is it allowed pharmaceutical outlets, small pharmaceutical stores, to also administer the vaccine, so that you don't have that long queue in the hospitals. So pharmacies are administering, but with an amount, with a fixed amount, and
Okay.
the age grade thing is still how it's going. There is an age group, and for
Yeah.
now, it is the frontline doctors and a certain age group, the older Italian age group.
So
So,
when are they going to remove the lockdown? I know you are under restriction. When do you have any
yes,
timetable?
yes, sir, we are still on the lockdown, and the 15th of April, the government might look into what Italy has done is it has a group, they've placed it on groupings, a colored group chat. So
Okay.
the red color means very dangerous, very, very highly infectious transmission of the disease and of the virus. And the yellow color means in between, and there's also the orange color. So now most parts of Italy are on the red. So it's very, 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 very dangerous, very, very
Wow.
uh, serious. So on the 15th, we are hoping that Lombardia, where Milan is, we might step down a little to the orange color, which means there will be movement, but you're restricted from going to other region, and you can't. There is also curfew at a certain time. You have to be indoors. So that's the.
Wow.
So on the 15th of April, there might be a change in the lockdown situation.
We're so sorry about that. But here in the United Kingdom, things are getting better. The number of deaths keeps coming down, and number of infections keep coming down. And so far, so good. The only thing, the downside is the vaccination is receding. Not many are being vaccinated like when we started. But then the prime minister has promised that things will get better in terms of other restrictions. The main discussion right now is about vaccine passport. The British government has refused to call it vaccine passport, but they call it vaccine certification, which means if you have a vaccine certificate, there are some places that you may be allowed to get into. And these places may be like theaters, cinema houses, and football stadium. So they're working on that. I understand that there is uh, what they call the trial. So they're trying to see if it will
Yes.
work and how it will work. And so it's important that we get these things perfect, they say. But
Yes.
people are getting to be jittery because it's affecting businesses, it's affecting many social life, and the young ones are not just interested in cooperating in that sense. They want to have their parties, they want to have their lives, and who can blame them? So that's where we are in the United Kingdom. And do you know anything about the French one?
Yes, French is getting very serious too. French started very strict lockdown from Monday after Easter, after the Easter holiday, and it's a very serious lockdown. The government wants to bring more measures to curb the French transmission. So the one way they want to do it is make the lockdown more stricter than before.
Wow.
The French people have always flouted the lockdown. You have to do, lockdown is going on and people are still having party. In fact, during last week, a video came out where somebody hid a hidden camera got videos of a dinner of the elite in Paris. They were having dinner even on lockdown, and they flouted all the rules. They were there without masks, sitting all together, eating, and so the video is circulating, and it has gotten. In fact, you have close to 4 million views as of yesterday, and yes, because people are angry that if they are being told to be on lockdown, and some elite, some people that feel they are above the law.
All animals are equal, but some are more equal. Well, I know the French will want to enjoy themselves.
so now it's going to be more stricter lockdown, and yes, and we don't even know when it will be opened for now.
Yeah, it's been terrible. It's like we are battling with the enemy. So anyway, we're expecting Nat any moment from now. Maybe he will update us more when he comes. And in the meantime, let's talk about Germany. Something good is happening in Germany. I know that they're not having a good time with the aftermath of coronavirus. It keeps coming and going, but everybody's been talking about the lady of the world, the gentle lady and the performing lady, and Angela Merkel. She's the darling of the world. 16 years she worked for that country, and she never changed her wardrobe because she was the chancellor, and she told them that I'm not a model, I'm an employee of the government, and she doesn't have any house help. Her husband and herself cook the food and eat their food. And so, what do you know about Angela Merkel from Milan?
Wow, that's a real epitome of a woman, of how a woman should be. Angela Dorothy, that's her name. Dorothy is her other name. Merkel.
Okay.
Yes, is a German politician that has been. She was once a chancellor of Germany. I think that was 2005, and she served in the opposition, and she also became the leader of the Christian Democratic Union, CDU. She has been wonderful. Angela Merkel she has been described as the de facto member of the European Union, and that's a very wonderful way to describe her in the union, because without her in that union, a lot of things would have gone wrong. A lot. In fact, maybe by now there would have been more pullouts like UK, like you guys did. So Angela Merkel is the most powerful woman in the world as it is now. And by all corners, she's also the most powerful leader in the free world.
Let's talk about. I know the international community will miss her, especially those leaders. She's been appearing in G8 pictures over the years, so she will be missed. But she did something controversial a few years ago. She allowed about 1 million immigrants from the East. What would you say about that?
Yes, because the party, take note that the Christian Democratic Union is more like a religious party too. So they believe in more of human, all human are one, like you said. You know, they don't see that variation in humanity, color or race. So she has always supported free movement, people integrating together. But it has been a problem also because other party don't see to that concept. So yes, Angela Merkel has.
Was that a restitution of what Adolf Hitler did? Adolf Hitler hated immigrants, and she felt that we have to do a restitution here. And did it pay off? Did it pay off on the long run? Because those who admitted they were trying to say they want to continue their Islamic ways, and they didn't like the Western ways of dressing, and they were harassing young girls with miniskirts. What will you say about that? How did she cope with that? Because there was a backlash.
Yes, there was a backlash. Obviously, there will be backlash. Germany is known to be the center of the Caucasian breed. You know, the Caucasians want to. You have more. I don't want to use those very strong terminology, but that is it for Germany. So obviously, there will be backlash and there will be opposition to that move because this is extremely opposite to the concept of Germany. Germans have been known to have that mindset of German for us, the German for German, and not other race. Coincidentally, you've had in fact the immigration rate is climbing very high in Germany. Yes, it's also a choice country for most immigrants. Most immigrants come into Europe and they eventually settle in Germany. So, and this is also because of Angela Merkel, because her policies favors foreigners, and you hear all these social facilities and all these things foreigners enjoy there. So it's a choice ground for most foreigners now. But let's see how it turns out as she leaves. Let's see what will happen to that plan.
Well, let's still focus on ourselves before we focus on other parts of the world. Let's receive our own in-house researcher. I guess he's been researching all morning long. Nat Iyako. Nat, you are welcome to the program. You have to unmute yourself, Nat.
Not from the studio. Okay.
Well, it's okay. We can hear you now.
Okay, thank you. I said my apologies for joining late.
No, you didn't join late. There were technical hitches, and your cap says it all. Is well placed, so don't worry.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Nat, you're most welcome. And I wanted to say something about Richard Okorogie. I hope I'm correcting Okorogie. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Nat, tell us what happened to this young man, or the story behind it.
Okay, really sad end. An undergraduate student of Oxford Brookes University in Oxford came home, I think, over the Easter break to visit the parents somewhere in Ladbroke, West London. And on March 24, 25 or thereabout, he left the house around 8:30 p.m. The mother said he had the boy speak with somebody on the phone, but he wasn't too sure who the person was. And so he left. For those of us who are conversant with Lagos, London, West London, he took a bus. I think he took a bus 23, and then took a cab. And the CCTV cameras along the way were recording his movement up till Essex, Epping Forest, when the parents now raised alarm that he's not been seen for the past 2 days. So the police started searching around that Epping Forest, and I think eventually on Sunday they recovered or discovered a body that fit into that of Richard, and so the body was in a pond around Epping Forest in Essex, and the parents were informed.
Okay. Do we have do we have anything connected to his death? Was it, are the police looking for someone? Did anybody invite him? Has he got a girlfriend or what?
Well, the investigation is still on. Since the confirmation was just on Sunday, today is Wednesday, investigations are still on. I'm sure, because it's now in the public domain, I'm sure they will let us know as the investigations progress or proceed.
Yeah. Mark, this story became international because you heard of it. You heard of it in Milan. What do you know about this story?
Yes, we've been following the story as Dr. Nat said, it's now in the public domain. So it's open to every news house to also follow up. So it's a sad story. The young man, Richard, 19 years old, left home, and now we are talking of a body found in the wood. I want to say this. It still adds up to what we've been saying in other episodes of this program on the mental health, the effect of this lockdown and the coronavirus pandemic going around the world. One people is affecting our students, young boys and girls. They are losing sight of the future, some of them. And they feel trapped, they feel locked, they are not used to this. They're not used to staying in one spot for too long. So Richard's case is also falls into that category of mental sickness, something that has to do with people feeling too bored, not seeing that life, the future. So it's not a good one. Our heart goes to the parents. The mom has been on the news, and when she talks, you really feel that pain. As a father, as a mother, you want to almost cry with her because yes, it's so painful. It's
very painful because sickle cell is now treatable. People don't die of sickle cell anymore if properly managed and continuously managed. We have people with sickle cell getting to the age of 70, 80, 90 these days. So it's no longer a killer disease. I know sickle cell can be painful and distracting, but I know many people with SS who have gone to be well-established people in life. Unfortunately, we lost Richard, and we just commiserate with his family. Okay, we just must move on. Nat, you have to bring us up to date on President Buhari. He was in London for medical checkup, and before we could spell his name, we understand he's gone to Saudi Arabia. Is that correct?
I'm not aware of that yet.
Yeah, but news is carrying it. Is that so? The news is not correct. So, what do we know about President Buhari? What can you tell us? What happened while he was here in London, and if he's still in London, what is happening in front of his house?
Well, he came into London, United Kingdom, last week Tuesday, and that was March the 30th or thereabout, and his arrival was noticed, and his checking into Abuja House, Nigeria House, was also noticed, and even before he left Nigeria, there were Shaware especially, Yele Shaware had, had requested Nigerians in the diaspora, especially in the UK here, to mobilize and demonstrate against Buhari coming to London every time for medical checkup. And so some demonstrations started Monday, running Tuesday. And we know one or two faces who led the demonstration. Reno Omokri led the demonstration. There are videos and other documentation. But I think the following day there was a counter group demonstrating in support of Buhari coming to UK for medical checkup. And we understand it's in public domain also, saying that the presidency bribed Nigerians here in the UK to come and counter protest, and they were paid £75 each, but only 5 people turned up. So as we speak, and again, the Nigerian High Commission, I'm told, requested the police to go and arrest Reno and Mokere and others. They went there, and as far as the police was concerned, they had not broken any law. They had not committed any offense. Demonstration in this country are allowed. Is granted if you do it peacefully and police are informed. You have the day. Yeah, so nobody was arrested.
And do we know his state now? Is he getting better, the president?
Well, since this thing is done in secrecy, I don't know. Right? Some people may know, but I don't know.
Mark in Italy, how do you feel with your president illness all the time, coming to London and spending the national money, yet is done in secrecy? Is the aeroplane parked in London? I mean, accumulating bills and all the paraphernalia, all the people following it, we're all in hotels. Is that how much are we paying, and it's still done in secrecy? How do you feel as a Nigerian?
It's all, everybody is sad. Nobody likes this. We talked about this last time. A situation where every single thing he runs, he comes to the UK for treatment, shows how, I'm sorry to use this word, but this is how it sounds. It shows a little bit of cluelessness with the government. Yes, because why can't you fix the hospitals? Why can't you fix the medical facilities and stay there, reduce costs, reduce the cost of traveling? You know, he gets an allowance for traveling, a very big allowance. And like you just broke it down, the plane, each time you use the aircraft, you pack it or you pay. Hotels, all these things. He was staying in the Abuja house, and they had to take him off because of the continuous protests from Nigerians there. Now, the day before yesterday, the APC chairman in the UK, like Dr. Nat was saying, the APC chairman, Philip Idao, organized Nigerians to come and say, we are better together. Buhari is the president and all that. Well, it's a freedom of speech. We're in a time where everybody has a right to whatever opinion, and there's always a two sides to every discussion. There's the pro and the con, the positive and the negative. So some people might not see those defects in him. They might not see these reasons we see. So they did their protest, and they spread the message to their own people that Buhari is their man, is our president, regardless of this terrible insecurity, banditry, kidnapping, and all these situations that are not favorable to everybody in Nigeria. And to we.
Are you aware that the National Association of Resident Doctors all over the country in Nigeria, they are on strike as we speak?
Yes, sir.
And Nigerians are feeling very bad and sad that is at that time that the president has left for another country to treat himself. And there are things flying about that the president is going to London for treatment. His son, when he had an accident on motorcycle, went to Germany for treatment, and the wife went to hibernate in Dubai. And that's what is going on now. And everybody is sympathetic with the masses who have nothing to, where no hospital to go into. Do you think he's aware that the resident doctors are having their national strike?
Obviously, the president is briefed every morning on situations, occurrences in the country. So he knows everything. Yesterday, take note, he brought in the new acting inspector general of police, and he's doing this from the hospital bed. So
yeah, I raise a query on that. Let me ask you, Nat, I raise a query on that. He did not hand over to the vice president. They said he was going to spend 2 weeks, and he didn't hand over. He has that right, constitutional right, to hand over or not to hand over. But that he is fully functional on his sick bed. I will query that one, not because he doesn't have the constitutional right, but his state of readiness to function, his state of mind. I mean, nobody is above sickness, not even the president. So I'm not deriding him. I'm just stating facts. So a statement of fact is that he's not in the best position to take decisions because this sickness, we understand from the grapevine, it has to do with his mind, and mind is the brain. So if he has this problem with the brain, how will he take decisions? Our friend Mark said he must have taken that some decisions right now, but I'm querying that. Nat, to what extent do we know Buhari is really functioning on his sickbed?
Well, if we go by the official announcement that was made in Nigeria as to Buhari coming to London, the exact fact he's coming for routine medical checkup.
Okay.
I took time to search and find what is the meaning of routine medical checkup. He's not sick. He's well. Routinely, you're supposed to check even you or me at least once every 6 months or once in a year. And Buhari cannot be in a sick bed in the hospital. That is not medical routine medical checkup. Routine medical checkup, you seek for an appointment with the doctor or the hospital you want to do the checkup. They give you a time. If they cannot finish it that same day, you go home and come back. So unless
my skepticism arises from the fact that a routine medical checkup could well be done in Aso Rock with the best of the doctors in the world going there. If it is a routine medical checkup, you mean we cannot do a routine medical checkup in Nigeria? Is that what you are telling me, Nat?
Yeah, that is exactly what I'm saying. That routine medical checkup is, as the name say, routine. It's not a serious thing. It's just like going for a lab test. They check your X-ray, your urine, blood, and any other thing.
So he has to fly 6,000 miles to do that.
And if I may just add to what our friend from Spain has said, Italy has said 120 hospitals, no, 12 hospitals have been identified in Nigeria. If Buhari spent money on them for the past 5 or 6 years, or even on the Villa clinic, he could go for routine medical checkup in these places. Because one flight from Abuja to London, just to talk of the jet fuel cost, the parking fees, extra code for himself, landing fee for himself, and all these other people that will come with him, can fix 12 hospitals to the highest standard so that Buhari doesn't have to be coming to UK for routine medical checkup. But the thing is that we are being told that even before he became a civilian president, he was using a particular hospital and doctor in that place. But what we are saying, that was then. Now you are using taxpayers' money. It's not and you refuse to account for it. Buhari, we employed Buhari to be the president, so he has to be accountable to the people. But the thing that they don't want to tell Nigeria that he's afraid, he doesn't want to go to any Nigerian hospital. They will kill him there.
Oh, well, he's the president. He can do anything. So he's the president. He has the power to do everything. And we wish him well. We wish him well. He's still a Nigerian and #1 citizen of Nigeria at this moment. So we wish him well. But you are sure you have no information whether he has been smuggled to Saudi Arabia? Are you sure?
No, but again, I wouldn't be surprised if the demonstrators here have told him to go back to Abuja and he prefers to go to Saudi Arabia. Everything is possible in Nigeria.
Yeah, I'm sufficiently being alerted because that was the same routine of Yaradua many years ago. He left the Western Hospital to Saudi Arabia for lesser Hajj or some prayer. And so that could be the same routine they're taking him through. But you know what? Let's go on a short break. When we return, we'll be telling the world of the sad news of one of the best of Nigerians who has passed on. Don't go away. We'll be right back after this short break.
Schengen Story Magazine is an African international bi-monthly magazine based in Milan, Italy, and founded in 2016. The publication focuses on personalities, fashion, style, entrepreneurship, and culture for Africans. Though articles on food, movies, fitness, music, travel, sports, technology, and books are also featured. Our lives full of best stories. A lot can happen in a month. Expand your mind, change your world. Get Schengen Story Magazine's full editions. Celebrate an Africans make an impact. Read better, the inside story. Your fashion magazine for a better lifestyle. Inspiring stories for you. Your monthly dose of entertainment. A better mind keeping you updated.
Hashtag Schengen Story Magazine. Get Schengen Story Magazine full editions.
It has been 1 year of coronavirus, and that sickness has affected the whole globe. The aftermath will even be worse, the way the scientists are telling us. And we believe that we need to counter it right now. If 1 million souls should do good to 1 other million souls, it will be a better place. So we want to start this project. 1 million souls to do good to 1 million souls. Why don't you join us? You don't have to register anywhere. Follow me on Twitter at Shegun Johnson UK for daily tips. There we show you how to do good to 1 person. Always remember, 1 million souls, do good to 1 million souls.
Benz Television has been going for almost 2 decades.
Thank you for staying with us. It's Ben Television, You Decide program. Last week, we heard of the sudden death of one of the greatest activists in the Nigerian political space. Comrade Yinka Odumakin has been known to be in the political sphere for a long time, challenging situations, challenging authorities, challenging people. He was never afraid of taking a position. Many politicians, many people in the political space will be rigmaroling. That was not Yinka Odumakin. He will always take a position. You may like him or loathe him, but he will take a position. He has opposed the like of Buhari. He actually was the public relations of Buhari 2011 election, and thereafter he came in opposition to disagree with Buhari. He was in the same team with Tinubu, and after a while came in opposition to Tinubu, and he was the only one who could face Tinubu to his face and say he's not 69 but 79, and he had all the reasons to prove it. No other person could do that. Today, Yinka Odumakin has gone, and we recall his darling wife, Joe O'Day Odumakin. So many funny stories how they came together, how they met, how they related, they became comrades, they became partners in camaraderie, and finally got married. And they were very, very active. Joe Dumakin also having her own space. But today, we want to remember Yinka Odumakin, the public relations officer of the Afenifere of Yoruba land. Nat, can you bring us up to date on the passing on of Yinka Odumakin?
Okay. Comrade Yinka Odumakin was born on the 10th of December 1966 in Moro, Ife North local government area of Osun State. And he died last week on Good Friday. It wasn't Saturday he died. He died on Friday, the Good Friday, around 10:40 p.m. Good Friday. Yinka Odumakin, as far as I'm concerned, he came, he saw, and he conquered. Within the short space of time God allowed him to live on this planet Earth, at age 56 or thereabout, he had made history in Nigeria when it comes to fight for rule of law and justice. Right from his student days in the University of Ife, now Obafemi Awolowo University, he was a member of the Democratic Movement Society and eventually became the PRO of the Student Union of Obafemi Awolowo University. And after his graduation, he's never taken up any appointment with anybody, with any government, with any organization. He had a brief work with Punch newspaper and the Guardian, and then he set up his own publishing outlet just to give him a medium of getting in touch with the people as to his struggles. And he was in the struggle team with people like late Gani Fawehinmi, may his soul rest in perfect peace. And it was Gani who introduced Yinka Odumakin to Joe Odumakin, from comrade to friendship, and the rest is now history, as they say. And Yinka really fought very hard, June 12th, Nadeko. He was also active in Save Nigeria, the Tunde Bakari group. Odumakin also, he participated in the Confab conference of 2014. In fact, he himself and the wife were on that panel, hoping that they're able to fashion out a better Nigeria for everybody. But unfortunately, it did not happen. And so, briefly, that is the life of Yinka Odumaki. The wife equally she's in the struggle. She has promised she will continue until she will ensure that Nigeria is a better place for everybody to live in. But interestingly, the tribute by Tinubu and the presidency gives a lot of room for concern. Where are those tributes coming from now? Why didn't they act this 20 years ago so that Nigeria will be a better society as Odumaki wanted it? Our prayers and our thoughts will continue to be with the wife and the family and the children, and our prayer that his soul will rest in perfect peace.
Amen. Let me ask Mark, how did you receive the news of Yinka Odumaki passing on to glory?
Back in the days, I was in Zaria, Ahmadu Bello University Zaria. We looked up to activists and people that stood up for the citizen. So we had real respect for such people. I picked interest on Comrade Yinka that time. I followed his activities and his very vibrant way, like Dr. Nat said, he courageous way to stand up to authority. He feared nobody. So we had respect for him. I followed some of the things he did. Standing up to Babangida was one of the boldest thing he did. At the point, I missed following him up when he joined the Afenifere movement. So I didn't follow much of that, but when he got married, it resurfaced again. And he married a fellow comrade, and together they were really fighting for the lives of people. So it's a big blow to the Afenifere organization, but I know Yinka has planted seed on some young, some people following up. So there will be more presidents of Yinka's ideology following through. Many more people. In fact, I see our popular Showere in that
bracket.
That bracket, yes. So he has laid down this legacy. He has imbibed into us this idea of standing up for our rights. So he will live on the lives of so many people, and such great men like this, they've written their name bold in the space of life. So he will not. He's gone, but he will always be remembered. Yinka will always be with us as long as we're still Nigerians, as long as we're still a people, and the impression will continue. So
Matt, you know the painful part of his exiting is this fact that Nigerians do not have a middle class that could challenge the ruling class.
Exactly.
We only have a few activists, and we can count them on our fingertips. People who could stand up to the government or to people who are misruling. Yinka was among the very few who would take a stance, and everybody would know his stance, whether you agree or disagree. So
right.
It's a big hole in that sense. All the middle class in Nigeria have been silenced. It's either you shut up or you shape up. The reason is that they can silence you by taking your means of livelihood, take your license, banish you, even murder you. So most middle class people, they rather lie low. And then we have the ruling class and the masses, the voting class. Yes, that's what I call them. The ruling class and the voting class. so that the voting class is so poor. They are the masses, and for 500 naira, they could change their mind on who to vote for. And that has been the case. In fact, someone called it stomach infrastructure. No middle class will, no middle class will take 1,000 naira from you for stomach infrastructure. But we see people who are given Ankara clothes, go and vote for us, and then for whatever reason they take it, and then well, they tell you if I don't take it, someone else will take it. In any case, they're going to rig the election. So, given this mentality, all the middle class vamoosed, and only few people like Yinka Odumaki who else could look into the eyeballs of Tinubu and say you are not 69, you are 79, and he proved it. How Tinubu has been coming, and he said so many things. Of course, there were loggerheads when it comes to politics. So that is what is painful about this one. All the activists are gone in the political space of Nigeria. Well, we just have to move on. We pray for Joe and the family, that the good work of Yinka will continue. I have no doubt in his wife, Joe Odumaki. May the Lord bless that family.
Amen.
Well, let's go on and look at the transport minister. Transport minister said he is trying to spend a little amount of money so that we could get into Niger Republic and the business will be flowing all over in Nigeria, that the transportation of the goods from the port will not go through Republic of Benin, but will be going through Nigeria. So he wants to get a rail from Lagos to Niger, so that we will be getting money from transportation, and we will not regret it. As a matter of fact, he was begging Niger Republic, please, 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 we want to do you a rail with our own borrowed money. We will pay the main amount, we will pay the interest, and we beg you. Let's listen to Rotimi Amechi telling us how important his ministry and his programs are, and then we can debate on this.
To even get to Maradi, I had to travel to Niger Republic to even beg them. They're not bringing their money, it's our money, but I'm begging them to allow me access into Maradi.
Why is it so important to go to Maradi?
Okay, it's simple. Currently, Niger Republic is exporting through Benin Republic. All the countries that are landlocked in the West African region are exporting through Benin Republic, Togo, Ghana, Ivory Coast.
Not Nigeria.
Not Nigeria. Why are they not exporting through Nigeria? Oh, your roads are bad. So the railway takes care of that. Oh, customs are difficult. They will charge us things that are not what we are charged in Benin Republic. Immigration does not allow us. Even when we pass all this, police checkpoints on the road, custom checkpoints on the road, immigration checkpoints on the road. Then communities have their own checkpoints on the road. Armed robbers attack us on the road. So we prefer to go where it is safe and cheaper to do business. So all we're saying to you is, oh, okay. So we come to Maradi, we build offices, we build a warehouse. You put your thing in the warehouse, you deal with customs at Maradi, deal with immigration at Maradi, deal with police and whatever you need to check for the goods to go. Once we put the good on top the wagon, straight to Lagos. When it gets to Lagos, straight to the ship, because the things you would have done in Lagos, we have done in Maradi. So it makes it cheaper and easier for them to do business. No community will stop the train and say, where are those things from Niger, or for instance, or where are those things from, say, Chad that want to use Lagos?
Right.
It's just, once you finish at Maradi, you put it on the wagon, you appear at Lagos, you board the ship, and off you go. Or if you're importing from outside the country, and you want to go to, you are from Niger or Chad, as soon as you finish at the Lagos seaport, straight, the next place you see your goods is at Maradi. So what we're doing is to grow Nigerian business and Nigerian economy. Those people will come, let's assume the ship is not leaving that day, they will sleep in Lagos, so they pay for hotel, they buy food, they do business, so you're growing the economy. So what are people complaining about?
This is a very expensive project, though.
1.9 billion?
Yes.
How much is to Maradi? So you stop at Jibia. Maradi is just 20 kilometers. So Maradi won't be up to $200 million. So what's expensive about
The
that?
argument of those who are talking about it is that that $200 million could have been used, for example,
To do what?
to complete the East-West Highway.
China is not lending the money for, okay, not even China, it's ECA, that's European Union. They're not lending the money for road now. They will probably not lend the money for road. But if you complete, if you took $200 million to complete whatever road you want to complete, and you lose the kind of business that will generate more than $200 million, which one would you prefer?
But on balance, don't you, as Honorable Minister, think that possibly the East-West Road also generates that kind of revenue because it's within the country?
What business does it generate?
You're talking, I mean, if I understand the concept properly, the East-West Road kicks off in Lagos and goes all the way to...
Let's kick off from Lagos. It kicks off from Warri.
Fine.
Warri to Calabar.
Which is where we have all
Don't
refineries.
Don't forget that the one from Uyo, not Uyo, this place in Akwa Ibom to Calabar has not been constructed. In fact, they brought it in the cabinet. The minister was saying about 400 billion naira or so to construct it, was all bridges. But that's even not the issue. The issue is that as much as East-West Road is economically relevant to the country and to the South-South, it's also important to point out that after some years, maybe 10 years, it will break down.
Why do you say that?
Don't you see why? Have you driven on it? It goes bad. The tonnage on the road is higher most times than the road. That the only saving grace for East-West Road will be if you construct the Lagos-Calabar railway, which will be able to convey the volume of wet cargo that you have to carry on that list.
Credit to channels there. Gentlemen, you've listened to the Transport Minister, Rotimi Amaechi. I have so many things, so many questions to ask, but let me just leave it to your analysis. I cannot believe that the Transport Minister said all those things. Who else will challenge him? Because if you knew the history of Republic of Benin and Republic of Niger, there's no way the French will allow them to go through Nigeria when they could be doing business among themselves, thereby generating revenue. The civil servants of the Republic of Benin and Niger are being paid from French coffers, and therefore they will not expect one of these tiny nations, tiny in the sense of GDP, to now give Nigeria more money when they could have been depositing in it among themselves. That's just historical background to the relations between Niger and Benin that the Transport Minister has not taken into consideration. But never mind. Nat, what's your immediate reaction?
Well, my immediate reaction is that Amaechi is not telling Nigerians and the whole world the truth. What he's doing is to eye service to Buhari, because that railway line will pass from Kano to Jigawa to Daura to Katsina and then to Niger Republic.
Maradi.
Maradi, which is 20 kilometers away from the Nigeria border with Niger Republic. Before the railway thing, the petrochemical industry in Niger is just some few kilometers from our border, and it is a Chinese country that gave loan for that refinery. We are taking money from China to build that railway, and before then, Amaechi had built, well, the federal government built a University of Transportation in Katsina, Katsina thereabout. But Amaechi is not telling us we have our own internal challenges with transportation, especially the railway line from the south to the north, especially the east-west coast that will mobilize revenue more for Nigeria than going to Niger to beg them to let us build railway for them. I think his analysis was very poor. He's just short of telling us very economical with the facts. That is my understanding. Because of his presidential ambition for 2023, he thinks that railway line will help him. Time will tell.
Okay, before I ask Mark to comment, we have a commentary by a listener, and he said it's Stanley Bright, and he said the idea sounds good on paper, but we know that the concept is not practical, considering that Lagos Port has a history of backlog for delays and demurrage. That's from Stanley Bright. Please keep your comments on. Let them come in, and then we'll be reading them, and you can even see them on the screen. Mark, you've listened to the transport minister. Is he economical? Is he being economical with the truth, or you think what he says makes sense?
Thank you very much, Doctor. Well, economical expansion has so much advantage, but in this sense, like Dr. Nati said, we need to look at economically, what do we gain from this? It's a project, even though the informations on the said amount is not we're not getting accurate information. Some people say it's a $1.8 billion dollar project. Some people say it's 1.6. The minister said it's 1.9. Everybody, so many different figure, but it's is a Portuguese construction company that is handling the rail, the track. And one thing I know is this is not a bad idea. It's really not a bad idea. But what do we gain from all this? If we are making a one track, and take note, it's just one lane. It's not even two lane. So when there is a movement, the other train wait until this one comes all the way. So why is it also just one lane? Kanu, Jigawa, Katsina, then Marade, what are the economical benefits for Nigeria as this? So a lot is being looked at. I followed the interview that day, and I saw that, like Dr. Net said, the minister, sadly enough, is not saying the truth. There's so much he's chewing, he's hiding, he's leaving so many room for too many. He's giving out not very accurate information. So, but we hope. Yes, sir.
Then he said $200 million for 20 kilometers of rail. That leaves us with $10 million per 1 kilometer. Is it that is my mathematics being wrong? Is it that expensive? 1 kilometer of 1 gauge railway is $10 million. Is that how much it is? Or this is just an expensive thing to do? And then what are the things that they export in Niger that will have to make up for the revenue that we will spend on these? What are the exports of Niger? What do they manufacture in Niger? As far as I know, they are just good in cattle rearing, but I don't know what else that they do in Niger Republic. Is this just a political expansion of the northern agenda to have a big control over the Sahelian states of West Africa, so that we are trying to have an expansionism? If we can control Republic of Niger and Burkina Faso, and all the Fulanis will be able to move in freely in and out, and will be a way to transport their cattle down South Nigeria. Have we given these ones a real political and philosophical thoughts before we spend money and then continue to maintain it? And in fact, we have to be begging them to construct it and to maintain it. And how long will we be begging them to do all of these things? we really don't know how far this thing will go. Nat, or are we just reading too many meanings into this?
Well, again, as I said before, the thing is not economical for Nigeria, because Nigeria Republic. But what Amaechi is trying to tell the world is that the import and export of Niger Republic will now go through Lagos and then to Niger. But as Dr. Johnson correctly observed, the French people from France, Paris, will not allow such a thing, because it's like you are diverting their economy from the French West African countries to Nigeria. They will not allow it. They will not allow it. Again, these are the type of projects we call white elephant projects. Amaechi knows that such a thing is not viable. And they just want to, even the 10% commission, whosoever will get it on the drawings and other things, it's a lot of money. And anybody who gets that 10% of 1.something billion dollars, he will just go home smiling, or go to the bank smiling.
And then when you look at the volume of trade between Lagos and Calabar, that volume of trade between Lagos and Calabar is, I'm very sure, 100 times the volume of trade between Lagos and Maradi.
That's very correct. But the construction has begun, and the Portuguese company handling it has started their work. It's so terrible that our government don't seek good advice and have roundtable discussion before they go into projects. So we hope that because these European companies are not like the Chinese company. When they begin the project, they are paid a certain amount of money. I understand that Credit Suisse handled the transaction. It was approved by the federal government, and when the work starts, it has started. So there's nothing much Nigerians can do now. But
and who's going to pay the interest on this loan?
Exactly.
Our children. Well, on that note, we'll go on a short break. When we return, we will recall the security situation in Nigeria, or rather the insecurity. What is happening to the Afaka 39 people, the young men and women who were abducted? And El-Rufai said, no, it's not going to give any ransom. Nigerian governments are not known to give ransom, except their children are abducted. Don't go away, we'll be right back.
Ben Television has been going for almost 2 decades now, representing the African, Caribbean, and ethnic communities in the diaspora, especially based in the United Kingdom. We have been providing content, various programs to empower, make an intervention, deliver, and enlighten the mainstream community about what it is to be a BAME in the United Kingdom. For almost 2 decades, this has been our ethos, bridging the gap. Now we seek for your support and partnership in delivering what we need to achieve in the coming generation for our youth, either through training, mentorship, empowerment for their entrepreneurial skill, talent, and in their business. Ben Television, bridging the gap, you're welcome to be with us. Thank you very much for joining and being partners of Ben TV, creating that bridge between the mainstream and the other communities in the United Kingdom and in Europe.
It has been 1 year of coronavirus, and that sickness has affected the whole globe. the aftermath will even be worse, the way the scientists are telling us. And we believe that we need to counter it right now. If 1 million souls should do good to 1 other million souls, it will be a better place. So we want to start this project. 1 million souls to do good to 1 million souls. Why don't you join us? You don't have to register anywhere. Follow me on Twitter at Shegun Johnson UK for daily tips. There we show you how to do good to one person. Always remember, 1 million souls, do good to 1 million souls.
Schengen Story Magazine is an African international bi-monthly magazine based in Milan, Italy, and founded in 2016. The publication focuses on personalities, fashion, style, entrepreneurship, and culture for Africans. Though articles on food, movies, fitness, music, travel, sports, technology, and books are also featured. Our lives full of best stories. A lot can happen in a month. Expand your mind, change your world. Get Schengen Story Magazine's full editions. Celebrating Africans make an impact. Read better, the inside story. Your fashion magazine for a better lifestyle. Inspiring stories for you. Your monthly dose of entertainment. A better mind keeping you updated.
Hashtag Schengen Story Magazine. Get Schengen Story Magazine full editions.
Thanks for staying with us. You remember these students who were abducted and they were shown being beaten, and the abductors were asking for ransom. They asked for 500 million naira. And the governor of Kaduna State, El Rufai, said, where will we get that money? In any case, my government will not be negotiating with abductors, with bandits and terrorists, and because it's not known the Nigerian government has ever given ransom, even though some other people said, yes, they do give ransom. But for El Rufai, no ransom. And then he came up with something. He said, if I hear that any of the parents should go and negotiate behind the government, it will be a serious offense and he will prosecute them. Well, we'll still see how that will happen. But people have been asking, what if your children are there? Will you spend government money as ransom or not? Or what offense have these ones committed? But listen, let's take a look at this, what has now been called Afaka 39. Let's have a look at this program, this clip they put together. So remember the Afaka 39. Let's have that. From Boko Haram to Chibok girls, from Chibok girls to Dapchi girls, from Dapchi to Kagara, Kagara to Katanga, Katanga to Afaka, Afaka. Now, listen, this is a very serious issue. I just can't even bear to think of what the parents are going through. And the government of El-Rufai said there will be no negotiation. And this was the same governor who a few years ago paid bandits in Kaduna State so that they would not trouble him again. He paid it, he said so himself. So now he doesn't want to give the ransom. But of course, there are philosophical discussions about paying ransom. When you pay ransom, they spend the money to get more ammunition and then more kidnapped. Now, whatever we want to discuss, we can continuously discuss this issue. But there are 39 children of ours suffering. We understand one of the Dapchi girls, Leah Sharibu, who confessed to be a Christian and that he will not denounce her Christianity, has given birth to 2 children. That's the latest we heard. And who raped her, we will never know. Who has forced her into it, we will never know. But let me hear from my colleagues. Nat, what have you to say? What's the update on Afaka 39?
Well, with sadness, we want to encourage the parents whose children were abducted. It was on the 12th of March 2021 that these bandits went into the forestry mechanization school in Afaka, Kaduna, and took away 29 of the students. So in the next few days, 5 days or thereabout, they will have spent 1 month in detention, in captivity, sorry. And one of the girls is getting to 7 months with pregnancy now, and one of them too was preparing for marriage. So all those now have been put to hold, and if they come out alive, maybe they now have to think of a next date. But meanwhile, the 39 Afaka students, their parents have formed a parents association and have been engaging with the government of Kaduna State. And we saw in one of the videos, the students in captivity were begging the government to pay this ransom so that they can be let go, so that they can be free and live their normal lives. But the Kaduna State governor is not hearing none of that. And so what the parents have now decided, they have decided that they will kickstart the process of negotiating with the bandits to get their children free. They are ready to pay ransom, but how much we don't know yet. And so they have taken the challenge to the governor of Kaduna State. The governor is saying no negotiation, no ransom. The parents are saying this is the life of our children. It's a matter of question of life and death now. We will go and source for money. We will pay ransom so that the children will be released. So the question now is to be or not to be, to pay ransom or not to pay ransom. The life of 39 of those children is at high risk because any additional day you spend in captivity, it could be most painful, to say the least. But yesterday we were made to understand that 5 of those Afaka 39 have been recovered. We don't know what the police, that's the word they use, they have been recovered. We don't know, I don't know what they mean by that. So that's the situation now in Kaduna State.
Thank you for that update. Let's hear from our colleague in Milan how they received the news and maybe they have further updates. Mark.
Yes. Thank you very much, Doctor. Well, the further update is just what Doctor said, Dr. Nat. 5 were released yesterday, And what the commissioner was saying, Commissioner for Internal Security and Homeland Affairs in Kaduna, was saying that the students were released by security operatives in Kaduna. But some other people were saying that the children, the students ran out on their own. So we are getting two informations here. The government is trying to make it look like it is their effort, but the student side is trying to tell us that they are making their own effort without any security officers.
What do you think is informing the position of El-Rufai? El-Rufai had paid bandits before, so what's informing his position now?
Yes, it is because the outcry of paying bandits, the outcry of Nigerians, and saying that why is the federal government negotiating with these people, these terrorists, bandits? So that outcry now wants to make him say, okay, no more, nobody is negotiating with bandits anymore. But he has done it before. So if he has done it before, even though we objected to that, but why not just finish it with this one in his face? So he's trying to play the smart guy.
But if these students were the children of the ruling elite, you think he will still take that chance?
Obviously, they will not.
No.
He will not. He will not.
No, there's still one important question I would like to ask you. So,
yes,
if while they're still holding this 39 minus 5, what will happen to if they should just appear from another school? Because everybody has been asking which school next. They go and abduct some other 28 from another school. So what will happen now? So all the students will be with the abductors, and the government is not negotiating. Is that what will happen?
Well, funny things happen, but there's a new Inspector General of Police now, and there are new officers also. So let's see if there will be a change in this security situation in Nigeria with all these new personnel on board.
Let's talk about the acting Inspector General just released from yesterday, purported that the president has appointed him to be the acting Inspector General of Police. Nat, do you want to bring us up to date how Baba has come to be the next acting Inspector General of Police? And if that is the case, where is he from? What do we know about him? Can he perform the role? Is he one of the Fulanis as well? We want to know many things, all the things about him. Let's get to know him, and will he be able to perform, or is just one of those window dressing as we have seen in the chiefs of staff and all the rest?
Well, we now have an acting Inspector General of Police with effect from yesterday, the 6th of April 2021, and his name is Acting IGP Usman Alkali Baba, and he is from Yobe State, that is Northeast Geopolitical Zone. That's the state where the Senate President comes from. Baba was a DIG police headquarters in Abuja, and he was the secretary of the police force. He's held some command positions in the police, starting from he was a DPO in various commands in Nigeria. He became a deputy commissioner. He became commissioner of police, and it is just last year, December, that he was promoted to the rank of DIG. I'm sure they were preparing him to get into this position of Inspector General of Police.
You mean they promoted him from Commissioner of Police to DIG?
Yeah, DIG, December 2020.
So he jumped AIG, Assistant Inspector General.
Yeah, Yeah, he jumped assistant secretary general.
And there were many DIGs there, but this newest one was the one just chosen.
Yes, because by implication now, anybody who was in the same rank with Alkali Baba or yeah, same rank or above him will have to
will
be
be
forced
retired.
Yeah, because that is the practice. So that is the situation. The man has he has a what seems like an intimidating curriculum vitae, but that doesn't count when it comes to performance on ground. Because him taking over police at this moment with what is happening in Imo State, even when the vice president went there, they just left him his flight to take off, and there was an attack, and they burnt down another police station. Apart from the one in Weri.
We're coming to Imo State. We will declare a whole segment, the last segment of this program, to Imo State. So let's keep a powder dry for Imo State. Mark, this new AIG, that is acting Inspector General, looks very handsome. Do you think his handsomeness will secure Nigeria?
That's very, very funny. Dr. Shago, I like that.
Yes, of course, it's handsome. We have to acknowledge.
Well, most of the young men from that part of the country, Yobe State, Borno State, they look good. A lot of them, they are the young men.
They are special breed. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
We hear you. Good. Can he do the job?
Yes. Can he do the job is what matters, not the facial. After all, Buhari is also a handsome man, but he's not dynamic enough. So,
who do you say is a handsome man?
Our president, Muhammad Buhari, is a handsome man, but he's not dynamic enough.
I keep my opinion to myself.
He is, doctor. He is.
Okay. I think I keep my opinion to myself.
Okay.
Go ahead. Will this man do the job or not?
Buhari appointed the acting Inspector General of Police, Usman Akilu Baba, and he replaces Mohammed Adamu. We are like Dr. Nat said, I went through his resume and very impressive. He has done some things, but let's see how the security changes. It is the ability to bring in good, innovative idea and methods, techniques to security. The problem with the Nigerian force is that they've always applied old method, even in new situations. The same straitjacket process they've always used is still that same process they want to use now. And times are changing. Terrorism is expanding. The network of terrorism, network of banditry, and all these things. They are coming with new ideas to that. But the Nigerian police force is not. They are still applying that old style of doing things. So let's hope that Usman, acting Inspector General of Police, Usman will come in with some fresh ideas. And he looks, the facial looks dynamic. Let's see if he will bring some dynamic.
That will translate.
Yes, that will translate. One way he could also do that is bringing also younger, fresh mind, new innovative mind to work with him, to collaborate with him, and we hope he will go into think.
Thank you, Mark, for that insight. Nat, I have a problem here. If the thinking of the Northerners is to pamper the bandits and the Boko Harams and the abductors, how could this man perform? Because we recall that Sheikh Gumi was having a romantic affair with the bandits and taking pictures, and he went to Obasanjo. We were not even told the inner discussion, and so maybe they want to pardon them like they pardon the Boko Haram, repentees, and all the rest. If their thinking is to deal with these bandits with soft gloves, what will any IG do?
Well, I see the man as failing on arrival.
Yeah. I know about dead on arrival. I don't know about failing on arrival.
No, he's failed already, because the way Nigerian police force is structured, if he was promoted 2020 as a DIG, the DIG, they have 7 departments in the Nigerian police force headquarters. The DIGs report to IGP, which means he was in the system. They were the people advising Adamu how to fight insurgency bandits. So I don't know where his new ideas are going to come from. And again, you know, when he eventually is confirmed, maybe in the next 6 months or so, the people who push his appointment, they will ensure that they dictate what goes on. He has to pay dues. He has to pay his dues, which may not be unprofessional. And then the issue of how are the police in Nigeria in 2021, are they equipped? Do they have equipment? What their welfare like? And other support services. And again, in the 21st century, the policing is not technologically driven. It's IT driven, it's computer driven, internet driven. How many policemen, even at the top, can even handle a laptop, a computer, or any of these devices? That's the question. And as Mark said, these criminals are well ahead of us when it comes to crimes and criminality. And when they also have some molds weaving within the police force, they have informants. It makes Alikali's duty more difficult. And already there are clamors, there are complaints. Nobody is sure of the man's age. There are different ages in his file.
Typical.
Which is typical of our civil service or public service. And so when you have those characters, those individuals coming in, you begin to doubt their integrity and personality, which will affect the performance of their duties.
Thank you very much. We'll have to go on a short break. When we return, we want to zoom in on Imo State. A new form of terrorism has started in the southeast. This is going to be worse than Boko Haram. This is a warning to the rest of Nigeria. Maybe the new acting Inspector General Police better listen to this program now. We're about to unleash one of the toughest measures in southeast that nobody has ever seen, and the Boko Haram of the northeast will be a child's play. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
It has been 1 year of coronavirus, and that sickness has affected the whole globe. The aftermath will even be worse, the way the scientists are telling us. And we believe that we need to counter it right now. if 1 million souls should do good to 1 other million souls, it will be a better place. So we want to start this project. 1 million souls to do good to 1 million souls. Why don't you join us? You don't have to register anywhere. Follow me on Twitter at Segun Johnson UK for daily tips. There we show you how to do good to one person. Always remember, 1 million souls, do good to 1 million souls.
Schengen Story Magazine is an African international bi-monthly magazine based in Milan, Italy, and founded in 2016. The publication focuses on personalities, fashion, style, entrepreneurship, and culture for Africans. The articles on food, movies, fitness, music, travel, sports, technology, and books are also featured. Our lives full of best stories. A lot can happen in a month. Expand your mind, change your world. Get Schengen Story Magazine's full editions. Celebrating Africans make an impact. Read better, the inside story. Your fashion magazine for a better lifestyle. Inspiring stories for you. Your monthly dose of entertainment. A better mind keeping you updated.
Hashtag Schengen Story Magazine. Get Schengen Story Magazine full editions.
Ben TV, your ethnic and Africa-led television, welcomes your input, contribution, and support to facilitate our continuous program production, campaign for projects, and other media-related services. We have been here for closer to 2 decades.
Welcome back. This is You Decide program. All we do is give you information, facts, and analysis. But at the end of the day, you will decide and you will have an informed opinion. And so this is why we show you all these clips and we give you the information. We are really genuine and sincere about what we do. We really want you to know the 2 sides of a story. In fact, all the sides of one story, so that you can decide. The Nigerian security situation has become very, very dicey, and many have been abducted, many kidnapped, many ransomed, many killed, and it has known no band. And the Nigerian Air Force, we understand, lost one of their helicopters, and there's been a terrible discussion. The Boko Haram has made a mincemeat of this, and they produced a video claiming that that was the Air Force, the helicopter being shot down, and the Nigerian government has said no, that was fake news. But we just wanted to take a look at what the propaganda of the Boko Haram have been saying. Look at this program and this clip, and then make up your mind. The federal government said this is fake news, but you listen to what these Boko Haram people are saying, that is not fake news, and you will hear their voice, and then at the end of the day, you will make up your mind. You decide. Have a look at this.
كيد الظالمين إلى يوم القيامة ظاهرين ونقسم بالذي برأ البرايا سيندم على الكافرين سنقتل كل من نالت يداه من الإسلام دين المسلمين ونضرب بالسيوف رقاب قوم طغوا وبغوا علينا ما نسينا سنقتل كل من نالت يداه من الإسلام دين المسلمين ونضرب بالسيوف رقاب قوم طغوا وبغوا علينا ما نسينا طغوا وبغوا علينا ما نسينا سنبقى رغم كيد الظالمين إلى يوم القيامة ظاهرين ونقسم بالذي برأ البرايا سيندم من أعان الكافرين سنبقى رغم كيد الظالمين
Nigeria Air Force, jet fighters, plate number 475 was sent to Sambisa to fight the Mujahideen. Now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made it clear that no one can fight with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because this is the evidence of what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has done today. Jet fighter of the Nigeria Air Force 475. Now our message to you, Kufar. There's no how you fight the people of Allah. Now we are calling you to repent. The only way for you now is to repent and come and worship Allah, because that's the only way out for you.
Kamar yadda kuke gani dai, wannan shine direban jirgin ku wanda kuka turo shi ya zo ya cutar da bayan Allah. Da abin da Allah ya dashi daga sama ya faɗo. Wannan in ba ku tuba ba, gaba ɗaya zai zama makomanku wannan shine insha Allah.
ونقسم بالذي برأ البرايا سيندم من أعان الكافرين ونعلن حربنا حربا.
We don't know whether it's fake or whether it's real. The federal government believes is fake, and it depends on what you will make out of it. We have a Godson Azu still in Nigeria joining us right now. Godson, you're welcome to the program. You have to unmute. Godson, we can't hear you. Unmute.
Sorry, please. It's my good morning and my great pleasure. From here in Abuja. It's unfortunate. I'm in an office waiting to see.
Waiting to see the vice president. We can hear you now.
Hello.
We can hear you. We can hear you. You can't hear us anymore. Mazi, we can hear you.
Hello.
Godson, we can hear you. Where are you going? Sit down. Sit down. We can hear you. Okay, we're having a slight challenge there. Godson, we can hear you. You can hear us. Please correct him from the studio while we analyze this one. Make him okay from the studio, please. So that, let me ask Nat. Nat, what do you make of that video?
Well, I think that video used by Boko Haram men, it's a propaganda tool. Because if you had the privilege of looking at what the Nigeria Air Force Alpha fighter jet, the colors and what it looks like, definitely that aircraft these people are showing is not
Nigerian.
Yes, and the only advantage Nigeria has over this Boko Haram is our Air Force, Nigeria Air Force, because that particular Nigerian Air Force Air Force number 475 left Maiduguri on Wednesday, and within 5 minutes to 10, 5 to 10 minutes, the jet crashed, and the altitude which the jet was flying, 15,000 feet. Boko Haram don't have that facility to bring down that jet, and that jet too was equipped with bombing facilities and all other things that they would have easily used on the Boko Haram, and so that is the life.
Have the two pilots been found? Have the two pilots been found?
One has been found. The other one is still missing.
Found alive or dead?
Dead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, but initially we were told that they successfully ejected when they discovered the jet was in serious trouble and was going to crash. Normally you eject. But again,
I think the bottom line is that the propaganda of these Boko Haram is getting tougher and bigger, isn't it?
Yes, that is. But again, that is one of the strategies of Boko Haram or any of these enemies. They want to cause
we're
fear.
in real war. That's what we are saying. We're in real war where propaganda, military, everything is being used.
Yes. And that jet crashed around Bama from Maiduguri. It crashed around Bama, and so the Nigerian Air Force.
I remember Bama. I remember Bama in Borno State. Now let's go to Abuja, where Gustin is waiting for us. Gustin, how are you this time? Mazi, Gustin, how you doing? You're doing well. Unmute yourself. Gustin, unmute. Studio, help him to unmute.
Hello, can you hear me?
We can hear you loud and clear. Now tell us before you disappear again. Yes, we can hear you. Tell us what's going on in Imo State.
Yeah, having a challenging network.
Oh,
can you hear me?
We can hear you. Can you hear us? Okay, what's going on in Imo State? Gustin, can you hear us? Oh, we just lost him. Nat, bring us up to date in Imo State, please.
Okay, Imo State. We know Imo State. A running battle has been going on in Imo State between Hope Uzodinma, the governor of Imo State, and the IPOB and Eastern Nigeria Security Network. The latest development was this attack on the correctional center, which is the former prison, and then the Nigerian Police Force headquarters in Owerri. We're told that some criminals or hoodlums, whatever name you call them for now, they had the audacity to go and set ablaze the prison in that place, the correctional center, and released almost 2,000 prisoners. And then they went ahead and burned the police headquarters just nearby, some of their vehicles, and I think one or two policemen were killed during this process. And just yesterday, another police facility in Imo State was set ablaze.
Even when the vice president just left the place.
Yeah, when the vice president just left the place. But the interesting thing is that I understand the IGP, former Inspector General of Police Adamu, was also in Imo to see the level of damage that's done to police facilities. And then it was from Imo he had of his removal as a
while he was on official duty.
Yes. But you know, in the military, those days it used to happen. And why he was removed is that he's no longer performing. You recollect that February 4, 2021, he was recalled from retirement and given another 3 months as IGP. But he had just spent 2 months and some few days. He had 28 days left or thereabout. But that is now history. So
was
we
that
have.
not a slap? Wait a minute now. Was that not a slap on the vice president as well as the IGP? I mean, they were on official duty and he had of it while he was flying in and out of Imo. Was that not a slap? That shows there's no coordination between presidency and vice presidency. And that is that appears to support my earlier position that Mr. President was not in a mental capacity to take such decision. Otherwise, he would have thought this man still had 28 more days. And if we were going to retire him immediately, you have to be told and things like that. That shows the lack of coordination. Or what do you think?
Well, the vice president, yes, the former inspector general of police, yes, but the target is the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Because what the statement the presidency put out is that was troubling for the presidency. It was troubling for Buhari, because these people want to succeed. They want to leave Nigeria, whether Buhari likes it or not. That is his concern now. Not whether slap or not slap on anybody. His concern now is to remain in office up to 2023.
All right. Let me quickly go to the son of the soil. Mark, you are son of the soil in Imo. Tell us exactly the immediate and remote causes of all the killings and burnings and the releasing of inmates. Tell us as far as you know. Our viewers would like to take a quality decision.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. The Imo situation is an interesting one. Very interesting. Like you just said, the presidency also shamed his vice and also shamed the Assistant Inspector General of Police, because having a situation where he's sacking a person of that caliber while he's on duty in that place shows how disorganized the structure is. Now, the Imo police stations burning and freeing the detainees is a sad situation. This is mass jailbreak. And we're talking of hardened criminals also among these jailbreakers. We're talking of pedophiles, we're talking of real hardened criminals. Now they're on the loose. The vice president went to see the situation, and not too long, right there in Mbano, there is a community, a region called Mbano. There was another attack. So the report is giving us 1,800 inmates on the run. Another report says 1,500. Yeah, also conflicting reports, and the inmates are all on the run. So the government has said that they should voluntarily submit themselves back.
That's very funny. We're talking of criminals. Okay.
How can criminals voluntarily submit themselves back? Okay. Apart from the jailbreaking, you had so much damage. There were burnt offices, burnt vehicles, police vehicles, police property right there at the station. And one thing is that place, the first place we had the situation in Owerri, is called the Custodian Center. That's the property of the federal government of Nigeria. And damages, there were so much carnage of the jailbreak, the damages of all equipment, computer accessories, vehicles, so many things were destroyed. Also with them, there was the Minister of Interior, Honorable Rufus Aregbesola, and he visited all the spots and saw the carnages too. It's just so sad. We are there are some in-depth information we are getting. The IPOB people are claiming the jailbreak. But
are they claiming it, or they're disclaiming it?
Yes, some are claiming it, some are disclaiming it. So there's a fraction that is saying yes, they did it. They did it. Probably like the Boko Haram story you just made out. Sometimes these terrorist groups and these groups, they want to show that they are relevant and they are strong.
So what's the difference between the ESN and the IPOB army? What's the difference?
Well, the IPOB army, the IPOD is an organization. ESN is a military part of that organization.
Oh, okay. So the government is not supporting ESN? Yes,
all of it. All of it. What the government says is they go against the sovereignty of Nigeria. They are declaring a separate territory from the Nigerian territory. So therefore, they are considered as terrorists. They are considered as...
I just want to, because we're going to close the program very soon. At what point did Aregbesola become born again? Because you refer to him as Rufus. I've always known him as Raufu. Has he changed religion? Is he now born again?
Rauf, yeah.
No, he can be born again. I mean, he can move from Raufu to Rufus. I mean, he will be most welcome.
I like your sense of humor.
So as a son of the soil, seriously, what do you see from all of these? Uzodimma is not having a good time at all. We remember he's the Supreme Court governor. He was brought in when he got the 4th electoral votes, and now he's not having it funny. At a point, he had to invite the Nigerian Air Force to bomb certain places where Rocha Okorocha came from. This one has nothing to do with Okorocha, does it?
No. This is a pure
matter.
Property and jailbreak. It has nothing to do with these two brothers fighting. The Nigerian police is blaming the attack on they call it the paramilitary wing of that Eastern Security Network. But there are different conflicting information. Some people are saying yes, we did it, and yes, we didn't do it. So,
Mark, I know you are a very important man in Italy, apart from leading a highly respected publication media there. Can you tell us in 30 seconds what happened to ENI? Have they been cleared by the courts, and to what extent have they been cleared? Because I know ENI is an Italian oil company in Nigeria, allegedly involved in mess that is all these. Please tell us what happened to them.
Very good. Yes. ENI, we pronounce INI. INI and Shell are two oil extracting companies in Nigeria, and INI is Italian, Shell is Dutch. So in 2011, there was a charge brought against them. There was an allegation of corruption in Nigeria. Money was exchanged for oil blocks and some oil transactions. So the case has been going on in Milan, in the courts in Milan, and it's been adjourned, postponed, like that, until last week when it was acquitted, completely taken off, and the case was declared. The two companies involved were declared as no.
So the allegation off their neck.
Yes, sir. So
thank you very much. Thank you very much.
That's a sad thing anyway, because we would have wanted that case to be in the favor of the federal government, to favor of Nigeria, because really,
but you know what they say, Mark. You know what they say.
Yes,
that you are let off the hook does not mean you did not commit the offense. It's just that the facts did not appear. That's what they say. Nat, what will you have to say in 10 seconds as we close?
Well, we want to find out where Buhari is.
Okay. All right, then. We will do that in the
Nigeria
next
is
1 week. We'll be finding out. We'll be finding
Yeah.
out. And we wish him to get well very soon anyway, so that he can get back to job in Nigeria. So we wish him well, but we want to look. And Mark, anything you want to add?
It's been beautiful. Thank you so much for having me on board. It's nice seeing these issues, how it affects us also, more importantly, as Nigerians in diaspora. And we are happy that there's an awareness of people wanting to get information. And that's good. So Ben TV is doing that great awareness program and keeping people
Thank you very much. It's just that we don't have much time. Thank you very much, Mark. I wanted to give you 5 seconds. That's how far we can go today. My name is Shegun Johnson. The program is You Decide. You've been watching Ben Television, and we have a wonderful men and women in the studio, Anthony Alsins, and the rest of the crew, and of course to our executive producer, Dr. Alisa Shiode. Until next week, when we bring you the best from the rest of the world. God bless the whole world, and God bless Nigeria.